So I think I've identified and repaired the fault with the step, and basically the wires that power the motor, the step motor, when the Entegra is made, the wires are actually crushed under the flooring, and then there's a metal part of the chassis, so the wire is actually under strain permanently from day one. Now obviously our wire was under a bit more strain, so I've basically cut the wires from the motor. I've done away with this connector because, as I said earlier, the crimping on this was terrible, and I've added about a yard of wire and picked up the loom, picked up the feed to the step motor further down the line, so the wire that I've put in isn't crushed. And you can now see that the step is operating correctly. Now this is quite a tricky job. I mean, you have to have the generator completely out to be able to do this job. And when you're under there, you'll also notice that there is a big gap where all the wires go up into behind the dashboard. So I've actually foamed that up as well with expandable foam, and that should stop some A, noise, and B, some cold drafts. So to just do one more improvement to this step, I'm going to increase the thickness of the wood, because at the moment when the step is fully extended, there is a big gap between the actual step floor and the floor of the RV. So I'm just going to extend it by about 1/4 of an inch, and we'll see how it looks when it's finished. So the normal thickness of the step is one bit of 3/8 board with the carpet glued and then stapled. We're adding 1/4 of an inch on top of that, but not right to the end. We've left it approximately 3/4 to an inch off the end, because until the step drops you haven't got enough clearance. Now we've tested this and it works well. So I've lined up all the screw holes, so once I've glued this together, each piece of wood together, I can then screw down through both bits of wood onto the metal of the step, and then I can, with spray adhesive, I can then fix the carpet. So I'm going to use some spray adhesive, 3M high strength spray adhesive. Basically this is just sticking one piece of wood to the other. Now obviously we've tested this before we decided to go ahead and glue it. This stuff goes everywhere, so make sure you do this away from the coach, and it needs about 2 to 3 coats or layers. That's what it says on the tin. Okay, so I've glued the board. I'm just lining up the holes that I've already pre-drilled, and once we screw that down into the coach, that will really sandwich those two boards together. I mean, they're pretty solid now as it is, so I don't think that's going to move anywhere. So now we need to put this in the coach. So as you can see at the back, there's basically a 1/4 of an inch drop, and that's to allow for when the step gets to that point before it drops. So I've used the original screw holes because the frame below is already pre-drilled, so it just makes life a lot easier. And I'll screw this in so it actually bites into the wood, so you don't feel the screw heads. I mean, that's virtually flush, and it actually looks a far nicer piece of wood, if I'm honest. But I suppose when you're manufacturing, you don't go for aesthetics, you go for price. Yeah, I've sprayed the wood, I've screwed the wood down onto the step, so the last piece now is just really to spray the back of the carpet. I'm just getting some remnants of the old wood off, so not quite so much on the carpet in case we have to take it off again. I'm just putting a little bit extra down the edges. Right, we're gonna let that go tacky. Bit like Las Vegas, we'll let it go tacky and then we'll stick it on. So this I will probably do wrong, because this is normally the bit that Julia does. So that, I think, looks a lot better. Perfect. That looks so much better. Right, there's just one more thing to do to make this step complete. And anybody who's got an Entegra will know that the step cover rattles like mad, and even though you may ask the factory to correct it, the correction they make will last 5 minutes. So get yourself some of these. I think these are for furniture. They're felt pads. So we're just going to stick one here, and we're going to stick one here. So when the step extends and raises, the pad will force it up, and also the pad will stop it rattling. I'm basically putting these felt pads. I've made a mark, which I now can't see.
You've just wiped it off.
Which I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure is there. I can see this side. This is where you realise you shouldn't bite your fingernails. So any children watching this, if you bite your fingernails, you can't peel the backing off. Now, I know this doesn't look super attractive, but until there is a better solution, this rattles so much when you go down the road. But now that step is solid. That is not going to rattle anywhere.
That was such a pleasure.
And if Entegra are watching this and you want to know how to do a step properly, give me a call and I'll send you the details, but there will be a fee attached. So this is my neighbour with an Anthem. Now he's the guy that's got the one with no problems, and I'm the guy with all the problems.
Have a few problems. I'm anticipating a fire soon.
That's because I did some wiring.
That's right.
Now I'm going to show John, this is the first look at my new step improvement.
Check it out. I'm ready.
So I want you to tell me what you think.
So far so good.
Now, feel how solid that step is.
Ooh, that's good. Excellent.
And that's solid.
Excellent. Oh, these are the things you put in there.
Well, they just give it a lift.
That's perfect.
I've got a spare one, but you won't be able to have it so thick. And we've increased the thickness of the step.
Very
so
good.
now
Very good.
it's solid. And if you fill at the back, there's a chamfer.
Yep.
So now when we drop the step,
excellent job.
do you know,
I can't wait for
quality.
I can't wait for you to do mine.
No, I'm doing yours next. In fact, I think there's about 50 or 60 Entegras here, so we need to buy some wood.
More wood.
So I could charge maybe $100 per step.
You could, but I won't pay it.
No, you won't pay, but you can pay in beer.
Oh, that's right. I can pay in beer. That looks good.